Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Shaka and Stevie here in the studio on this fine Saturday evening. Don Hutchison's decided to join us as well.
Despite the day that Don has been...
Former Everton captain.
Despite Don's day, he's here.
Yes.
Yes, and even Stevie decided to turn up today.
Oh, yes.
Battling through.
Battling
through.
Battling on. Don, smiling. That's how we like it. Obligatory percentage question for Don. Percentage chance Everton are relegated.
Let's do it.
Percentage chance Everton are relegated.
Chance to relegate. I'm still going to hang on, Kay, to there's 3 worse teams than Everton.
But there is.
So I'm not going to say no chance because it's 4 games in, 4 losses, bottom of the league, bang in trouble. But I think Southampton 1,000,000% will go, Ipswich and Leicester alongside them. So they're going to be around the bottom 5, bottom 6, but I've still got faith in Sean Dyche and he can get them out of trouble into a new stadium. So percentage-wise, I'm looking at about sort of 20.
Don's beard is getting greyer by the Everton loss, isn't it? Every time Everton loses, his beard gets a little greyer.
Definitely not helping him.
Look of worry on his face.
Yeah.
Also, the perils of raising 3 boys.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
You're not
isn't
wrong.
it, Don? Okay.
Says a mother of 2 boys.
Days.
I'll stick it at that. I don't want that great beard, thanks. Stevie, what did you think of Salah's performance today? How much do you think games like today will influence Liverpool's decision to renew his contract?
Well, it shouldn't influence the contract. Listen, everybody can have a bad day. It just so happened that there was a whole squad had a bad day today. But no, this... For as bad as he was today, how brilliant has he been for the last, 8 years? So, yeah, I certainly don't think it will, and it shouldn't.
What were you like today? I asked that because this afternoon you've been kind of accepting.
Well, I could smell it halfway through the game.
So were you like, here we go again? Or were you your punchy TV kind of self?
The only thing I was thinking about at 0-0 was these could sneak a goal.
Right.
Because I figured that we weren't going to score. Because we didn't look as though we were going to score. I mean, we could hardly pass the ball to each other, quite frankly, at times. Particularly in the final third. Because that's where they were counter-attacking from, their own final third.
See, I've seen both those sides here, you know, I've seen it.
What did it smell of, Stevie?
Oh, we've all seen
It
the
just
days
smelled of them scoring a goal. I remember,
Cheese? Yeah, but what did it smell of, though?
No, it smelled of a previous performance many, many years ago. I remember in the 80s, we were top of the league and we played Wolves, who were bottom of the league. We must have been about 20-1 to win at Anfield, and they beat us 1-0. And it was a very similar tale when I think back how the game went. They did nothing, they sat on the edge of the box, we couldn't break them down, just went at it, and then they broke and scored and went 1-up. And my mind went straight back there watching this game.
Did your goalie call them long ball merchants after the game, like Allison did?
No, that was a strange thing to say.
All right.
That was a strange thing.
I'll tell you what else is strange. #1 Liverpool fan, at also a Barca fan. All right. Andas, would you want to be labelled a super sub like John Duran if you're a young player and have aspirations to be part of the starting 11? No.
No, because then the manager will think, that's an easy decision to make. I'll put him on the bench.
You know, Davy Fairclough, who was the original super sub, hated it. Absolutely. He himself said it wasn't until after my career was over and I got a bit more mature and I realised that without that, he might not have been remembered. He actually took him that long to understand that actually it was a good thing that he was able to do that. In fact, he was almost unique at that time in what he was doing, coming on late and scoring important goals. But initially, he hated it.
What do you think of John Duran, just out of interest on?
I like him. I like him. West Ham tried to sign him. They just couldn't get the deal over the line. I think you look at his build and you look at the way he holds the ball up and you see the spectacular goals and his sort of athleticism, and you look at him, you're thinking with a bit more maturity and a little bit of confidence, you can see, like, you know, the couple of attempts that he's had today, the worldly strike from distance, that he sort of flicked one up with his chest and went for a bicycle kick. You can see that the talent is there. So, yeah, I think at any given time, because Ollie Watkins didn't start the first couple of games particularly on fire, didn't look sharp, and John Duran actually did and scored a goal or two. I think any given time, if Unai Emery's thinking, well, Ollie Watkins is a bit off form or has an injury, I think you'll have no problem, I think, as a Villa fan watching him play, because he looks super talented. I like him a lot.
Shaka. AJ says, Ancelotti has never won 2 league titles in a row, and the Champions League has a new format. If he fails to win a trophy this season, do you see him leaving Real Madrid?
Well, I hope not. I just think Ancelotti is that good a coach, and arguably, and I know Pep clearly is in the conversation, but arguably best in the world, or one of the best in the world. But just given who Real Madrid are, given Florentino Perez, you could see that happening as well. And so it's less about Ancelotti and whatever they're able to achieve or not this season, and more about Perez, in all honesty.
Is it better that the manager decides who takes the penalty, Stevie, or leaves it for the players to decide? I'm glad we've had this question, because obviously we saw Mbappe and Vinny Jr. in the same game both take penalties and score them today. It had been that Ancelotti had said before the international break that was going to be the case, that they could decide between themselves.
See, this is a very unusual scenario we're talking about here. This is not something that very often comes up, that you have 2 superstars, 2 penalty takers that are as good as each other at taking a penalty, but who takes it? I mean, under normal circumstances, I think the manager should be the one that makes the decision and says, right, you're my penalty taker. And until such times as you're either not comfortable or you're missing, then you're taking every penalty. So I would generally say that the manager should pick somebody. But this scenario was just, I don't remember ever.
Yeah, MSN didn't they do it at Barcelona? Messi, Suarez and Neymar. I used to remember them sharing them around sometimes.
Well, you know, Messi takes penalties. You know he does. As good as all these names that you've just said.
But then they'd share them around sometimes between them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But then, again, that's a different scenario because it's Messi.
Yeah.
Well, could you put these guys in? Obviously, they're not Messi. Nobody's Messi, right? But they're superstars for their team.
Yeah.
They are world superstars right now.
I can understand why Ancelotti would do this. And I can understand right now how the players are happy with it. But 99% of teams don't have this sort of situation, which is why the manager has to say, this is my penalty taker.
Even in the same game.
Again, this is a completely different scenario. What a position. And I personally think that it's a positive for Real Madrid that when you get 2 penalty kicks in one game and somebody's already scored, that psychological battle doesn't become a major part of the second penalty because it's somebody else that's taking it. So the first penalty almost disappears and it's a level playing field, which I think is great because there's no question. Somebody who's already scored a penalty in the same game, there's a lot more pressure and it's a lot harder to be as cool and confident the second time round.
I think what we'll see Vinicius taking the first penalty in every game, and I think that's established. And I would like to think, I kind of think that Ancelotti kind of dictated who that hierarchy is. And now after that, if the players feel confident enough, and again, you are talking about 2 of the best players in world football, 2 of the best penalty takers in world football, great. And right now, certainly there's no argument, Mbappe is not going to be fighting for the first penalty Vinicius Jr. quite happy to hand off the second. If there is, I also get the feeling that Ancelotti would just step to the sideline and dictate who takes it, direct who takes it. And nobody argues. And nobody argues. I just think, to Stevie's point, this is a really unique situation, given the two players in question and given the authority of the head coach in Carlo Ancelotti.
Don, percentage chance Haaland eclipses 40 Premier League goals this season?
Ah, every chance. Every chance. 80%. If he stays fit, 80% chance. Has to. It's too good. He's averaging 2 and 3 every single game. Too good.
Too good.
Yeah.
Not 2 goals today.
He's almost a double. 4 games in, he's almost in double figures.
Yeah.
That's mental.
And 1 more goal and it's 100 goals as well. Yeah, unbelievable. All right, for Shaka, this might be the 2nd year in a row that the goal of the season has gone past Jordan Pickford. Have you ever let in a goal that was so good that you were more impressed than upset?
No. So, you know, at the moment, let me tell you something.
I can think of one myself.
I have been.
Think of one.
Right. I have been, as they do the goal of the month, always do, there have been multiple months that I have been starring multiple times in the goal of the month.
I don't think starring's the word.
Well,
Shaka, any publicity?
You're in the picture.
I've featured.
You featured,
I think.
Tell us some of those goals.
Oh, I can't remember. I forget those things a long time ago.
Too many.
I'm pretty sure there was 1 month I was on like 4. I got 4 of the 10. That's
unlucky.
That's Ronaldo numbers right there.
That's unlucky.
Eat your heart out, Cristiano. He's never scored 4 goals in the top 10 any month. Yeah, have some of that.
So never impressed.
Yeah, scored 900 goals. I conceded 900. Some of that.
All right, that'll do it. Thanks so much for sending in your questions for the latest edition of Extra Time. We're going to be back tomorrow. We're going to do it all over again. We'll be looking back on the North London derby too.